Welcome to the do-it-yourself exercise, where your task is to create a pivot table like this, containing row ID, order ID, product category, subcategory, and product name. The hint is they are all on rows, and there is one measure, one value, which is the sales, which I translated as sales in the EUR currency. Try to do it on your own and then check together with me. Let's start by inserting a new pivot table inside a new worksheet. Then let's add in the row ID order, but the row ID should be on rows, order ID also on rows, then product category, product subcategory, and product name. And at the end we need the sales, this time on values. You can see that this is the compact layout of the pivot table, but we don't need this layout in this scenario. So let's turn on the show in tabular form layout. Let's repeat all item labels and let's turn on all of the grand totals and subtotals. And at the end, we can also decrease a bit the size of the columns. This is more or less the layout we need. What is more, we can turn off also the minus and plus icons if they would appear. By going to the Analyze tab and turning on the plus minus icons, they are going to disappear from this kind of pivot table. The next thing we want to do is working with the sorting option, but the technique we discovered previously, go to the values column and apply sorting options straight from the data tab. It's not going to work in here because Excel is trying to apply this sorting for the lowest level on the rows shelf, which is for the product name, and it's like not working at all. Instead of doing so, we can go to a specific column like row ID and apply the sorting option starting from a specific column, and apply the sorting by using more sort options. And based on the field that we have, we can apply the descending sorting option for the sum of sales, but this time sticking to the row ID column. By hitting OK, you will see right now that the sum of sales is sorted correctly, and this is actually what we need right now. We've got all of the sales values sorted from top to bottom. How can we move the whole pivot table to make it start from the A1 cell? You can either remove the top rows, or you can just select the whole pivot table, cut it, and paste it into the first cell to make it start from the first cell of your worksheet. In the next step, we can work a bit with the formatting of this kind of pivot table layout by, for example, turning off the column headers and row headers, and also applying the banded rows. This is step number 1. And step number 2, we can rename the main measure. For example, it's our sales in EUR, which is the euro currency. As you can see right now, my pivot table doesn't really have to look like a standard pivot table. It can take different layouts, and if you discover later in the next lessons also the filtering options, like for example slicers, you will see the power of those layouts applied in many different scenarios you need. Thank you very much for this lesson, and see you in lesson number 4.